When you're tired of all the choices out there and you don't know what to do, you can kick back and watch Tall Guy Eric Reviews.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tall Guy Eric Reviews, and today we're doing something a little bit different than normal. First of all, go ahead and say hello to Midori. You can see her over there laying on the couch. That's her spot. She'll be in and out through this video, and when I sit in the chair in a little bit, she's probably going to jump up on my lap. So she'll be featured in probably a lot of videos going forward. That's my baby. So let's get into this. Why am I reviewing a chair? I'm mostly known for monitor reviews, and I am branching out into more electronics, but chairs are definitely not something I've covered on this channel. However, this is a little bit different. So why is it different? Well, this is the Muuv 360 by Align Solutions, a chair you've probably never heard of, and up until right around 3 weeks ago, I had never heard of. I'm a big chair person. I've used many chairs throughout my past 10 years, since working from home and starting the YouTube thing and really starting to focus on content. I got my first Herman Miller Aeron chair. It was a classic. It was like 30 years old, and it was still the best chair I'd ever used up to that point. So I have a lot of hands-on with chairs. I even have 2 chairs to compare in this video. But this is the most unique chair I have ever seen, I have ever used, I have ever anything. I wasn't able to find any YouTube reviews on it. The only anything I could find on YouTube is the actual people that made the chair itself, showing you how to adjust the functionality of the chair. I was able to find the manual online, and that's pretty much it. There was like one Reddit post of someone asking, hey, does anyone have this chair? And then I think there was one reply of someone being like, yeah, it's really comfortable, and that was it. As far as I'm aware, and I did do some extensive research, you can't even buy this chair. When you go to their website, it has like a fill out an order form, and when you press it, it just takes you to an email, and that's it. So you may be able to custom purchase the chair, but as far as I'm aware, you can't just go buy it. So why am I here with this chair today? Well, couple weeks ago, I was on Facebook Marketplace. I'm big on Marketplace. I sell a lot, I buy a lot. I'm always looking for deals on Marketplace. And I saw this chair. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, what the hell is that? Because I've seen a lot of like generic chairs, I've seen a lot of expensive chairs, but I had never seen anything quite like this. So when I saw it, I went and looked it up. And I mean, I looked and I looked and I looked before I messaged the person about the chair, and I couldn't find anything. So after doing some research and finally finding like the few videos that there is on it, I messaged the guy. He had it on there for $100, and by this point, I knew this was an expensive chair just by looking at it and then from what little I could find on the internet. So I offered him $85. I drove over an hour to get it. When I got there, there was an older gentleman. He knew nothing about it. He just wanted it out of his garage. Well, I got it. It honestly didn't look like it had ever been sat in before. It was a little dusty, but the material and everything are in perfect shape. It had no stains, and legitimately it looked brand new. So I got it home. I've used it every day since I've gotten it. I've sat in it for multi-hour days, and now I want to talk about it. So usually with my channel, I'll tell you guys, my favorite features of something, and then I'll tell you, do I think you should buy it? Well, in this situation, it's going to be a little different, and the reason for that is I can't really tell you to go buy this chair because it's not something you can just go find unless you get lucky like I did. From what I've found, when it was manufactured, or if you custom order it, if you can do that, you can get some really cool looking colors. Like, this is the most basic looking version of this chair I've seen. When you go to their website, they have a bright red one, and my God, is it gorgeous. Like, if I could find the red one, that would be it. I'd probably never use another chair again. But I have the beige color one here, and like I said, it looked brand new when I got it, and it's super easy to clean. I love that about it. So let's get into some details about this chair, and then I will sit in it, show you guys its functions, and do some comparisons, and then I'll tell you what makes this chair very, very unique. So let's start with the functionality. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the functionality. First of all, the chair is extremely customizable. First of all, with the armrest, there's a lever you can press in, and when you press it, you can completely turn the armrest around. Now, I'll be honest, that may be something you can do on some chairs, but I've never seen that on the chairs I've used. So it completely turns into a 360. So obviously, when you turn it this way, it's a little thinner on the end, but it's longer. You can adjust them left and right, and then you can slide it back and forth as well. And that's all done. When you press the lever, you can turn it into 360. Everything else can just be done by yourself. Now, what I like about that is obviously you have a huge level of customization, but you also, and I apologize if you hear me sniffling, it's that time of the year. The weather where I live has gotten awful and it's on and off, so everyone's getting sick. But I really wanted to get this video out. So on top of the customization, which is awesome, it is so well built. Like you cannot move this arm unless you want to move the arm. And usually that's like something that's reserved for like a higher end chair. But with this, well, I say higher end, but technically this is considered higher end, but that like the well-known chairs. But this thing is so well built, it's insane. So on top of that customization, there's another button on the bottom. When you press it, the arms go up and down. So you have a wide range of customization with the arms. The next thing we're going to get into before I sit in it is the headrest. So it comes, well, it's more of a neck rest, but we'll get into that in a second. So it comes with the headrest, neck rest by default. It is 100% adjustable, so you can move it up, you can move it down. So if you're taller, like me, you can have it all the way up. It does go down a little bit more, but for some reason, there we go. So if you're shorter, you're good. If you're taller, you're good. I'm 6'5", and with it on the max one, it is perfect for my neck. I'll show you guys that here in just a second. I actually just found out last night, but you can actually pop off. Now it looks like I put it on pretty well last night, but you can actually pop off the pad for this. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can, maybe to replace it if you ever need to, which makes me wonder if you can do that with the other cushions as well. So yeah, build quality, S tier. Probably the best built chair I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it is a tank, it's heavy, it does not creak whatsoever. I mean, it doesn't matter what I'm doing in this chair, there's no noise. It is the most silent chair I've ever owned, period. It's more quiet than my Haworth Fern, and it's more quiet than my Aeron remastered. So build-wise, insane. Quality-wise, it's so good. So let's sit in the chair. Like I said, I'm a tall guy, and it is extremely comfortable. So when I sit in it, the lumbar support, it's so comfortable, and the whole area moves with your body. So like when I'm moving around, the lumbar and the back support both move with me, so that's very comfortable. When I lean back, let me go ahead and lock it in place. So when I lean back, that neck rest is perfectly on my neck. It's so nice. So let's talk about the leaning back. So first of all, that is my biggest complaint with this chair. And I'll show you guys here in just a second when I compare the Aeron and Haworth Fern, what I'm talking about. But you can lock it in different positions. So right now it's locked straight up. It will not move at all. But if I set it to where it's like free, so where I can kind of, you have to let it unlock, lay back. This is at maximum tension. So I have this where it should be as hard as possible to lean back. So it should have as much force as possible, and it just leans back easily. So unfortunately, realistically with this chair, you can't leave it in the position that you can freely kind of sit however you want. You can lock it in different positions, which is cool. So if you just want to kind of chill back like this, play some games on a controller, you can. I typically leave it in, I think it's the next notch up. So it's like right, it's sometimes a little finicky to get locked in. but it's one notch from being perfectly up. So it's not this, it's one back, but that's where I typically use it. It is a little frustrating that I can't use it how I use my other chairs, where I just crank that tension up and just kind of lean back when I want to, or I'm set forward when I don't want to. But other than that, it has every functionality you could possibly want. One of the big things that I love about this chair, and before I end this video, I will take my camera off the tripod and give you guys kind of a closer look so you can see everything I'm talking about. It has the biggest seat pan I've ever seen on a chair. It's huge and it is comfortable, and it has this waterfall like design for your legs, so they just kind of drape over. It's awesome. I feel like this chair was built for tall people. Now, would it be comfortable for someone who's shorter? I'm absolutely sure, because you can adjust it. But for me, someone who's taller, it's awesome. You can adjust the seat depth, so you can move it back, you can move it forward. I think I have it kind of medium right now. So let's kind of compare it to the other two chairs that I have in my room right now. So this is the Haworth Fern and a digital mesh. And then this, make sure they're all in focus, is the Herman Miller. It's actually, let me zoom out just a smidge. There we go. So on the left, we have the Herman Miller Aeron Remastered, and unfortunately that is a size B. And then we have the Haworth Fern, which is one size, and it is extremely comfortable. And this and the Aeron both have custom headrests. The Aeron size B is really pushing it for someone my height. If I were any bigger in terms of weight, I don't think it would work. I used to have a C, but I ended up selling it and getting this B for half the price. Do I regret that decision? Kind of, but the B does work. There's no way in hell I could wear, or I could use an A. I've actually never even tried an A. I have had a few Bs, both in a remastered and a non-remastered, and I currently have this remastered in a B, and I have two of the classics in Cs. That's a long story for another time, but I've had it all. I have an M-body. It's not in this office. I love the M-body. I think it's very comfortable. I prefer the Aeron because of that mesh, and that's going to get into material. So the 360 uses a very thick, almost memory foam filling, like padded cushion. It is super comfortable. It's super firm and plush, and I think it's a material that would last for a very long time. Now, the Fern uses this, like, I don't even know how you would describe this material, because like I said, this is the digital mesh, or the digital knit, sorry. And then it just has this very comfortable seat. I do need to clean this chair. It's awkward how it discolors. And then the Aeron uses its Pelico mesh, which is awesome. It's so comfortable. In terms of comfortability, I would say it's very close to the Fern, and then the Aeron's just kind of a leap above for me. My only issues with it in terms of comfortability is, it's the same issue I have with every other chair that is not a mesh material, other than the Fern. After sitting in it for a couple hours, I get sweaty. It doesn't matter how cold it is in my room. My legs start to sweat. Sometimes my back sweats. That happens on the M-body too. Not as bad as this chair, because this is definitely a thicker material. But that does not happen on the Aeron, and it barely happens on the Fern. It does happen in this chair. It's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is when you don't have a lot of breathing room. The other issue that I have no ass. It is what it is. I'm tall and lanky. When I sit in this chair for more than a couple hours, it feels like I'm starting to sit on my spine. Now, unfortunately, that is an issue that I have with any chair that's not like a mesh material or whatever it is that the Haworth Fern uses. So after a couple hours, it starts to hurt my tailbone, and unfortunately, no amount of adjustment I do changes that. That is because I have no padding back there. The M-body is the same way. The M-body, after a couple hours, it starts to hurt my tailbone. That's actually why I will always have an Aeron in my office no matter what, because that doesn't happen there. And in the Fern, it doesn't really happen. But other than that, I've had no issues with the chair whatsoever. It's a really unique chair for sure. Like I said, you can't really find the chair anywhere, and that's why I wanted it. And after having it for a little while, I think it's an incredible chair, just in general. So, with that said, obviously, if you want this chair, you probably can't go out and buy it. However, if you see one on Marketplace, if it's, I mean, realistically, even if it's $500, I would buy it. I would buy it in a heartbeat. This chair was manufactured in 2022, and like I said, it still feels like it's brand new. It's built of some of the best materials I've ever seen, like the legs, the arms, the back. It's all made of like a chrome aluminum. It looks good. It's built well. The wheels are extremely high end. Everything just feels premium on this chair. So there is one thing I'm going to show you, and then we'll take a look around the chair, and that's going to end the video. So obviously, you know, the chair looks unique. Everything is kind of separate with that floating design, which is really cool looking. But why is it called the 360? So this is the most unique thing about this chair. So if I sit in a chair, there's a few different adjustments on the right armrest. And one of them is a button, or I'm sorry, not on the right armrest, underneath the armrest. So there's 3 levers. If I pull the last lever and I hear that click, it sets it to where the backrest is completely free. So what that does is, let's say I drop something. I don't think I have anything in my pocket, but let's say I drop something on the floor and I need to pick it up. In a normal chair, you know, I'm like, oh, and I'm hoping I don't fall out of my chair, or like it doesn't just slide from underneath me. But with this chair, if I tilt, the chair tilts with me. And then I go back, or I tilt this way, and it tilts with me. So it tilts with your body. So, I mean, I guess if you're like wanting to just maybe move a little, or if you need to pick something up, you can do that. And then with the click of a button, once it goes back to where it needs to be in the middle, it just immediately clicks back in place and you're good to go. So that's really cool. Like I said, that's super unique. I don't think I've ever seen another chair that has that. It overall, it's just such a unique chair. It's really cool. It almost kind of looks like the new Libernovo Omni. That is a chair that I want to test, but I don't want to pay the $1,000 for the chair and then regret it, because I am hearing some issues of people who have bought the chair and not hearing back from support. They are a newer company. They're a very small company. I'm not shocked by that. But also, everyone who's over 6 foot has complained about the seat depth on that chair. So until I can get one for a really, really good price off of Marketplace, I won't buy one. But like I said, if you see this chair and it's a good enough deal, buy it. It's so cool. I mean, I just want to keep this chair just to have it to talk about and let people try it when they come over. It's so unique. This is at my second desk in my office. I'm not using it right now. I'm using the Fern, and I use the Aeron, but this will always be at my second desk as my chair that I use when I'm editing videos and stuff. It is super comfortable, and it's definitely comfortable enough if I need to sit and edit a video for like 4 hours. It's not a problem. It's just a unique chair. I think it's really cool. I don't know why it never went into mass production. I don't know why you can't really get the chair from the company, but if you could, I'd probably be trying to get a red one because it's very sick looking. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys around the chair, and then that's going to end the video. So let me take this bad boy off the tripod, and I'll also show you guys Midori because she's over here chilling. So you can see the materials are just absolutely high-end premium. Everything was metal or like a really well-built plastic. Right here, you can kind of see it has the logo of the company that designed the chair. It's just an overall really cool looking chair. You can see how big that seat is, and you can see the cool material it's made out of. Like I said, it is really easy to clean. And then Miss Midori wants to say hello. But that's it. That's going to end the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And also, if you guys would like me to do a review on the Fern or the Aeron, let me know, and I'll gladly do that. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.